Our guest today is a true craftsman as it relates to World War II military history. His name is Juan Lopez of Ottawa, Canada. Juan makes museum quality World War II One-Sixth figures. He operates Juan's OneSixth Exclusives. Juan is also a member of the Ottawa chapter of the Ontario Model Soldiers Society. Do you make one model per country?
Yes. When I started that project with the soldiers of World War II or Second World War, I at first I thought I was going to do only Europeans, which I counted them to be around 45 to 49, not exactly sure. Then it was a 2.5 year project, and when I did my research on that, I came across a bunch of like I wanted to do every country. I was like, no one's left behind. No one's left behind. I wanted to make sure I did them all. But originally, I thought I was just gonna do 40 plus soldiers because that's what the room I had for, right, in my display area here. But then through my research, I found a lot of African colonials and Southeast Asian colonials that somehow these people or the veterans there never got the recognition for the effort they put in the war. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I only do the Europeans, then I'm just going to contribute to the fact that these guys are still being ignored. So I said to myself, no, I can't do that. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to do them all. The thing is that at the end, I ended up with 73 soldiers. That includes every one of them. And there were even countries that I wanted to include, but I had a few rules when it came to my project. Was that if a country today was fighting under somebody else's uniform, then I will not include a separate one for that country, because it will just look like another. Like, for instance, there were a lot of countries like Kazakhstan, Armenia, and everything that were fighting under Russian uniforms with their insignia and everything. So if I was going to do an Armenian or a Kazakhstanian, that meant that I had to find a way to have their uniforms look different in some way, so that people, they recognize that they are not Russians and they are actually from Kazakhstan instead, or that's just an example at least. And I was very disappointed as to why I did try and research and to see if there was something that I can actually differentiate them from the others. And I couldn't, and I was forced to exclude those. And people have come to me, hey, how come you don't have my country there? Well, I'm sorry, but that was the reason why. And but 73 soldiers is what I have right now, and I didn't have the room for all of them, but I am very happy I did them.
Figures are museum quality.
Yes, I am very particular when it comes to research. One thing you're not going to believe, because that's what I say to a lot of people, and they say, really? They say, I say that the easy part is actually making the figure. The hard part is actually the research that it takes, because I spend 2/3 of my time on doing the research. And as soon as I find, when I'm comfortable and confident that I got it right, that's the easy part, I tell them. And they say, wow, really? That's the easy part? That will be the hard part for me, they say. No, but that, to me, it isn't. It's the easy part. I found that 3D printing is that the 1/6 scale is perfect for the 3D printing size, because you can have maximum detail on them. Anything smaller than that, you start losing detail.
Let's talk about the uniforms on these 1/6 figures. Do you make those?
No, I have a lot of skills, but two of the skills that I didn't really master was actually sewing. or leather works, anything that has to do with sewing leather. So when it comes to the sewing for uniforms, I had to find a tailor that will have to do them for me. So when I found a tailor, I tried four, and the first three failed on me because the quality was not as good. I wanted their quality to not be better than Dragons. I mean the ones that are manufactured. I wanted to be similar. So that means that when I use those uniforms that were manufactured next to mine, they look like they're all made from the same place. So I spent numerous hours on the research for each uniform. I prepared the reference so that I can bring to the tailor. And when I will bring the tailor, the soldier that I wanted to finish or a uniform, I bring a few things. I bring the fabric. I bring the reference so that he can see how the tunic and the uniform has to be made, that style, and also the figure, the naked figure, so that he can tailor it to, because a lot of figures are different sizes. Some of them are short, some of them are tall or skinny or whatever. So he had to tailor the uniform to fit this guy, that the guy that I was going to use for that. And so I basically did, like I would say, half of the work that it takes to make this. And the tailor, all he did was just do it exactly how I asked him to. And then after I get the uniform from the tailor, I will 3D print the buttons that will even have the coat of arms from a specific country. I mean, it was all done through research. So if they had a specific button on that uniform, I will 3D print it. And then I will also print on fabric with my inkjet printer the patches that will go on his uniform. So everything was done by me, and except for the uniform that was actually tailored, but but everything else, like 80% of the entire figure, was all done. But I did it all myself. Yes. Right. I don't consider myself that old yet, but what I have in here is I have talked to my wife about what happens when I'm gone. What's going to happen to all this stuff? So one of my hopes is that, because my work here is pretty much museum quality, and it's not because I want to end up in a museum. I now do want them, hoping that they will end up in a museum someday, because I mean, I spent pretty much my entire last 20 years in this room making this, and I would like to know that they're going to a good place. I am never interested in selling them. Money is not a thing for me. I don't have a lot of it, but I do okay with it. But I would really like to go viral, if it's possible, with this, so that I can find somebody, a museum especially, that will be willing to take them, and I will donate them for free, no money involved.
You'll be attending On Parade 2024.
Yes, I already have reserved 3 tables with the project that I was going to display on this last show that I have back in January. So I will bring in those to the Toronto show. Out of all the skills that I have in here, my specialty is dioramas. It's like the terrain part, and making terrains of all kinds, and the buildings, and everything. So yeah.
So have you ever thought about teaching your trade to an apprentice?
I actually did it once. There was I really loved it. I volunteered. They offered to pay me, but I was like, let me try it first, and then see if I like it. Then we can talk about whatever.
Yeah.
I actually had they told me, okay, they told me you can pretty much teach a class whatever you want to create. So come up with a model of your own, whatever, and then just have a class. And then so you're gonna on the first day you're gonna show them what it is that you're gonna teach them how to make. So those were the rules of this engagement. And then I decided, okay, well then I make this, and I made something that was very quickly. So, and I taught them that in the class went for 4 weeks. So it was 4 days, but it was 4 weeks. It was done I believe this was a long time ago, but I believe it was every Thursday at 8 o'clock or something at this class, which was in downtown Ottawa. And the students were actually very happy with it. They were like, oh my God, I never thought that this school was going to have a class like this and everything. So they were excited. And at the end, they all created their own, and it was very, very well done. They learned a lot making models. And so at the end, they gave me a review and said, you did very good. The students are very happy. So we're going to sign you up for the next one.
So I'd like to ask you, is teaching a course on making your 1/6 figures, is that something that you would consider doing in the future?
Of course. Yes.
Okay. Because there may be some educational institution that's watching this video, and they may say to themselves, hey, we got to sign this guy up to teach a class for our students.
Okay.
Okay.
For it, I am a natural when it comes to this, to be honest. I like what I said earlier, when I'm working on a project and I already have my composition on how the diorama is going to look. Once I have the composition, it already automatically comes in my head. Oh yeah, I'm going to need this to make that, and I'm going to need this to make that. And and then as long as I collect that, it's exactly what I needed to make it. So okay. It's
Juan, do you have a Facebook page or where people
I have a Facebook page where I post all my work. Yes.
Okay.
And it's called Juan's 1/6 Exclusives. No numbers. It's all.
Yeah.